Hi, I'm Melissa West. Welcome to Change Your Pain, the Learn to Stretch series. Today we are going to talk about stretching the hip flexor muscles, and you're even going to feel it down across the hip hopefully and into the fronts of the thighs. Again, a very tight muscle because of a lot of times we have a lot of sitting jobs, and a lot of the activities we do will tighten up the hip flexor muscles. Good to keep those lower body muscles balanced. So this one today is actually going to be done on the knee. And if you have problems with your knees, I'm going to show you a little modification. If you have problems getting down onto the floor, then we will have another stretch in our series that can be done standing as well. So the other thing to do is, if none of those stretches work for you, to talk to your practitioner to learn to modify a stretch for the quadriceps and hip flexor muscles. So that's the front of the thigh muscle. So today let's do this one down on the floor. You're going to get down onto your knees. If you need some support for balance, just have something handy beside you like a chair, or do it in front of the couch. Works really well. Those are just a few suggestions. So I'm going to start with my right knee forward. That means I'm going to be stretching my left hip flexor. So the right knee comes forward, and you'll notice that my right foot is slightly ahead of my knee to start with. And my left hip is stacked right over top of my knee. So this thigh here is straight up and down. And then you're going to come up really tall. If you need some support, have your hand on something so that you don't feel like you're all wobbly. And you're going to lift your chest, drop your shoulders, nice long neck. And the only thing you need to do is, from your hips, you're just going to move your hips forward by bending that front knee. So if you watch this front knee, that front knee is going to bend. Everything else stays the same. So as I bend, I'm not leaning forward. This stays straight up and down here. And we just move the knee forward and push it forward as much as you can until you feel a stretch down the front of the left hip and maybe a little bit into the front of the thigh. Now, to get a little bit more stretch, you're going to make sure that that torso is nice and tall so you're not collapsing at the torso. And you're just going to squeeze your butt muscle as hard as you can. It's hard to do in this position, so do your best. So you're going to squeeze that left butt cheek really, really hard. And what that will do is it will take this pelvis and tilt it backwards. And as soon as you tilt that pelvis backwards by squeezing the butt, you're going to feel more intense stretch. Again, you want it to be an easy stretch. Still want to feel a bit of a pull and a stretch, but it shouldn't be ripping and tearing. And then if you want a little bit more stretch, you can go a little bit more forward with that right knee. Just bend it a little bit more, but make sure you're not leaning forward again. And hold here for at least 30 seconds. Breathe. Every time you exhale, drop your shoulders, squeeze your butt a little bit more, and just feel that stretch going deeper into the front of the hip and down the front of the thigh. 30 seconds, and then you're going to come out of it by straightening the knee. And then bring both knees down. If you have problems with the pressure on your knee, what you can do is take your mat, fold it up, or put a pillow underneath your knee, and then place your knees back on that, and that'll give you more cushion. So now we're going to do the other side. So the left foot is going to go forward, and the right knee is going to be on the mat or the pillow, whatever works for you. The left foot is forward of the left knee. And then we're going to come up really tall, make sure shoulders are stacked over hips, squeeze that right butt cheek a little bit, and then just bend that left knee forward. Just bend it till you feel a stretch through the right front of the hip. Draw that belly in so you're nice and tall and long, and make sure you're not collapsing anywhere, and just breathe through it. If you find that as you bend the knee, that this knee starts to come out over top of the toe, that it's no longer over the ankle, then you want to move that foot forward more so that you have the ankle stacked directly over underneath the knee. Squeeze your butt, breathe, and drop the shoulders. And if you want more stretch, you just bend into that front knee just a little bit more. But most of your weight is really back here on this back knee, squeezing the butt. And then after 30 seconds, you can come out of that, bring the knees together, and maybe kind of give your hips a little bit of a wiggle and feel that the hips are nice and loose, a little bit looser, and then try it again during the rest of the day. Thank you for joining me.